Okay, yeah. So obviously it was much better than the last one, and obviously I like the little story of the main character after the titles. I think that was really good, especially like how he would talk about sort of like flashbacks, bit like with the voiceover and stuff. I think that was really clever.
I like the font better than the last one. It's more like art deco or whatever it is. Like, you know, it made more sense to me. And it was quite funny as well. In a good way, obviously.
Yeah.
What have you done with the font?
No, I changed it slightly. It's a slightly different one, but it's the same sort of style.
Yeah, because I thought it was similar.
Yeah. But I think it was more sort of suited to the character and stuff.
Right. You did some other stuff with the titles, didn't you?
Yeah, I added a few more and sort of and changed the position of some of them. And
like for instance, you had with the stairs one, you had 3 of the titles.
Yeah.
Up, didn't you? So you did some quite little creative things with the titles, I thought.
Yeah, I tried to make them quite interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. What did you guys, other guys, all think? Do you want us particularly to look at the later part of it, the monologue part?
All of it in general, really.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
like what you thought of it, really.
Do you want us just to briefly say what improvements you made based on the last time's feedback?
It's a mixture of stuff, really. I added more titles and followed the conventions. Like I got a list of titles for one of the influential films, and sort of copied them.
Mm-hmm.
I also added in the monologue and added in the flashback scenes. The flashback scenes in the pub, I also made it sort of like you had a slight echo of the voices from the pub, and I sort of play around with the script quite a bit to try and get it like I don't know, get the monologue bit quite funny. So
Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you what I think. When you went into the monologue bit, I thought that at first it seemed quite slow compared to the other parts, you know, which have been sort of quite quick moving, and I wanted a cutaway, and you did then do a cutaway. I thought maybe sort of the cutaways could have started even earlier.
okay.
And I think maybe you could do more, like sort of little cutaways to just objects around the kitchen. Sort of a view outside through the window, sort of outside, so you don't have this sort of thing of just looking at you all the time.
Yeah.
For a little while, I think it's quite good looking at you, but I think it's just little sort of moments where you just move to something else, and your voice is just going over the top of that.
Yeah, there's a little just break up a bit more.
Just little interest things about some. They're actually quite boring stuff in my head. Just sort of things like it could be a bowl of cornflakes or something like that. But it's just showing you those things and the view outside into the garden and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be quite good.
Okay.
What else? The bits with the guys drinking. What do we think of those?
I feel like very well acted. Obviously, I know the people that are in it, so I know they do drama in that, so they're actually good actors as well. So.
Yeah.
I think it's relatable to the audience when they're watching it because, like, you can have a group of friends, like boys or girls, that can go out and try and find someone.
Yeah. The only thing I thought was slightly strange about it is that you don't see you.
Yeah, because it's a point of view shot. It's all I was trying to get its point of view.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay. I've got more shots where like they sort of hand me a menu and things like that, but I didn't use them actually. But I could do that to make it more more to let you guys know it's more point of view sort of thing.
Yeah. I thought at times it held a little bit too long on them and might have come back to you a bit sooner. I don't know if anybody else felt that. Shelby, you nodded there.
There were some of the titles at the beginning, and where they were on the floor, you couldn't really make out what they were saying, like what it said.
Okay.
So maybe like move them up a bit or change the colour.
Yeah.
So what, they blended into the background for you?
Yeah, it was the ones that were at the bottom when you were walking past the car.
Okay.
I can't remember. But yeah, there was like two. There was one on one side and you could see it, and then there was one on the other and you couldn't really see it.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, at the time, I felt black screen just before you go into the action,
Mm.
where you start to actually see you, sort of, being the salesman.
Mm.
It could have just lasted just a fraction longer.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just give it a little bit more reflection time. Because I liked all the titles and doing them on the bell and everything.
Mm.
I just felt that could have gone for a second or two longer.
Yeah. Well, the black screen right at the beginning, or the black screen after the
At
opening.
the beginning,
Right at the beginning.
before the action starts with you.
Okay.
I can show you if you like.
You're hearing his voice, and I think if I was doing that, it'd be too much going on to comprehend what is actually happening.
Mm.
The black screen kind of just gives you it's something new's about to happen, not
So do you like the idea of it sort of bridging?
I like what you said.
Mm.
Not saying Keegan's idea was rubbish, but I wouldn't do it like that because I don't think many people can work that way. Watching something that is completely irrelevant to what you're saying.
The other thing you could do is if you did that sort of bridging technique, you could also, we're talking about having some little sort of things that just establish the kitchen,
Yeah.
just little shots. It could be a little bit of time before you see you at all.
Yeah.
There could be sort of a few sort of shots of just things around the kitchen, and then all of a sudden, then it's revealed who is this person who's talking.
Yeah.
And it's the guy we saw earlier on
Yeah.
as a salesman. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I could have sort of.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, because I could do things like I could have sort of me blurred out in the background while having something sort of in the foreground maybe,
Yeah.
and then so you don't actually see me as such.
That's true as well.
That
Yeah.
would be quite cool to experiment with.
But I definitely sort of think this first bit, just stick with it sort of where we see it just seems to take quite a bit of
I
time.
hate them and I am one. You see, I never wanted to be a salesman. I kind of took the first job that fell into my lap. I'm not even that good at it. I'm not good at talking to people, especially when it comes to women. I mean, take my last girlfriend, Carol, right? She broke up with me because she thought that I was repetitive and boring.
See, that I think works really well, and particularly this of the sinking and the steam. It's genuinely funny. That's made me laugh both times I've seen it.
Mm.
Nobody else seems to laugh, but it's just my sense of humour. Yeah.
I like it, I like it.
I think it's a reaction that makes me laugh actually.
Yeah. His reaction when he gets up, yeah.
Not your reaction.
No. But that I think is really good, and that adds interest to it. And I think, but it's quite a long time of just you before you get to that bit.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of a light relief.
Yeah.
From just, I'm not saying that it's not nice looking at you.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's not nice looking at you. But it's just quite, it's just quite a long time. And after that, you don't get so
Actually,
long.
that might not have been about the talking thing. But you see where I'm coming from. Now, my friends, they're the kind of people that social life just comes easy to. They're constantly at parties or chatting up girls or, just flirting. Flirting's like a second language to them. They've used that second language an awful lot since we finished school 4 years ago. So much so that they can't really help me when I have issues with it.
See, I think what you could have done then is come back to them quicker.
Yeah.
And then maybe even now be back at you.
Okay.
So break it up a bit more.
Yeah.
I think maybe you stay a bit long with both.
It's just so natural to them.
That was quicker.
The other week, we met at a pub before going out, and they promised
So there, you did sort of very short ones.
Yeah.
Short with them, short with you.
So the short stuff works better than the longer.
Personally, I think
by the end of the night, I'd have a girl on my arm. And me being me, I said, yeah, why not? And, well, that's how it all started.
what do you guys think on that? Editing wise, would you do anything differently with that? With a sort of cross-cutting thing?
Speed it up, like you said. I don't really see much wrong with editing as such. Maybe just as Sir said, you long it out in some bits. Some of the scene trips, you don't want to keep looking at your friends for that amount of time. You just keep, it's like a flashback, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Speed it up, maybe. I think that's it.
Shelby, would you?
I don't know. Part of me likes it, because obviously he's talking about it. Because I think it'd be boring if we just saw him talk about it the whole time.
Yeah.
There is one stage where he's on his friends for like a long period of time. It would like be very quite short.
Right.
You did with the girl, didn't you? So, I mean, obviously you're supposed to, but if you just cut it a bit quicker, I think it might look a bit better. But there's nothing wrong with it.
The bit where you're talking about them flirting, becoming a second nature to them, I think you could be back with them by then.
Yeah. Okay.
So when it's, you're directly talking about them, let's see them.
Okay, yeah.
And when it's more you talking perhaps about yourself,
Yeah.
it'd be more on you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
If that works, you
Yeah.
have to sort of see how that works in
I have
terms
to
of
like,
the dialogue.
yeah, experiment a bit with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But I've definitely filmed some general sort of stuff around the kitchen and maybe some shots outside. But, I mean, you could, if you wanted to, you could even refilm that entire sequence, couldn't you? Because that would make no difference. Not the friends, but the bit with you, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
If you wanted to change it.
Yeah.
And you've gone for fixed camera view and just
Yeah.
monologue style, like theatre types of thing.
Yeah.
The person's just there and you just watch them. But that's a tougher ask, I think, when it's filmed, because we're not used to it so much.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I might I'll have to experiment a bit with it, and I'll probably
I'll do the editing thing first and see
Yeah.
how that looks, because that might just solve it all.
solve it all.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't work,
Include like some sound from the pub, because I think it's too quiet when we're talking.
Yeah.
Like you expected in sound.
well, there is a slight bit of sound, but it's like but it was that sort of, if I had it any higher, it was too high, and if I had it any lower, it was too low. So it's really hard to get it right. But I'll try and.
Almost like sort of muffled voices and clinks of glasses
Yeah.
and things.
We're just, like,
Yeah.
used to it, really.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'll put like an echo effect on it,
Yeah.
and then like turn it right down, so it's really like
Yeah.
low. But it's so you're saying I need to put that higher, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you could do it once you go into the the flashback types of thing. If you did what Ben says and you had a little bit of background sound, just quite low, and then it just carried on all the way through, all the recollections. And it's
Yeah.
only when you stop talking about that it would actually sort of come out of it.
Yeah.
And you just talk, so you mix in the sound of the background of them,
Yeah.
and you.
But that's what it does. No, in the actual thing, if you turn it right up, you can hear it.
Right.
But it's that I think I've got it too low, so that you can't register it.
Yeah.
I need to turn it up a bit.
But I think particularly the sort of that would add atmosphere to it. Yeah. And you could also momentarily, if you wanted to, so if it sort of dropped out of you talking, you could just lift it a little bit so you hear a bit more of them.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.